Hey guys, I'm so excited to get into this month's spread. I absolutely love October and all things fall, and it's actually also going to be my birth month. I do want to apologize. I'm recovering from a cold and my voice is still just a little bit hoarse, so let's get into this. I always start these with a whole scheme and penciled out plan for every page if you're ever wondering. Here I'm doing a quick color test to find my exact palette, and this will also serve as a reference that I can always look back on. This month will be all things pumpkin and orange, and we're adding some ghosts. I remember doing pumpkins last year and wanted to change it up just a little bit for this year, so I'm going to add ghosts. Showing off some of the washi tapes and pens that I decided to use, and just some supplies here. I'm really obsessed with these pumpkins. I might use some of these gold month stickers. I say that every time and never do though. Alright, so getting into the monthly calendar, I included a screenshot of my inspiration. I just do a quick Google Images search and find so much inspiration that way. I'm doing a big 2-page calendar for this month so I can keep track of events easier. I go back and forth between a smaller calendar and a monthly plan, and a bigger calendar and highlighted events. I think for the busier months, like the burrs, a bigger calendar is more helpful though. I do like using a ruler for my lines most of the time. It usually looks more put together at the end, but sometimes I do try to freehand it. Which one do you guys prefer? I actually started recording these just for myself to help speed me up and hold myself accountable, and wow, did it work. It also inspired me to start sharing them. This whole spread, final lines only, not including the planning, took me only 3 hours. And that's with taking breaks, having an entire conversation with my boyfriend. It used to take me literal days to find the motivation to finish an entire month's spread. And I did it in 3 hours. Like I said, all things orange. And this calendar is proving it already. Editing these is both comical and frustrating. I realize how many times I pull my hands away from the page entirely, and in the editing process, I try to take all of those out to make it look more seamless, but trust me, in real time, I take my time. Getting into my tracker pages, we're starting with a habit tracker. I started getting into habit trackers pretty close to when I started bullet journaling. I like drawing my own and switching up the styles and the number of habits to work for that month. Giving you a lot more flexibility. This design is a tried and true for me. Bullet Journal, or BuJo, also has an app you can download on your phone to track habits and to-do lists, for those of you who don't want to freehand it. But I like mine on paper and decorated, even if that decoration is just some washi tape and fun colors. I find it helps to break up the monotony of the months. I am doing the line work in brown and using my trusty ruler. Also remembering this month has 31 days, not 30. I've had to go back at the end and add another day before. For this month, I am making one habit tracker. Typically, I would create a habit tracker and a health tracker to track my habits directly related to my health, but I'm just going to do one this month and kind of merge them. In total, I will be tracking 13 habits for this month, which is smaller than my normal, but not by much. I wanted to do it this way so it will take a little bit less time each day. Again, we got a busy month coming. Tracking less habits will make it easier too, hopefully. Some of the habits I like to always track include daily tidy, reading, getting my 9,000 steps, and hydration. I'm currently rewatching Below Deck Mediterranean while filming this. Such good drama. If you haven't watched it before, I highly recommend it. I've watched Below Deck Mediterranean going on 3 times now, and the original Below Deck with Captain Lee is so good too. Still doing my line work here. I love the versatility the dotted journal gives you. It really makes line work easy, and you can work from any orientation. A habit tracker looks and works really good on this journal horizontally too. Not gonna lie, I've been writing and drawing on a couch in my lap for so long. Doing this at a desk is incredibly awkward. Where am I supposed to sit? How do y'all record at a straight angle and write? I keep hunching over on top of the page and into the frame. I'm going in with a thin orange marker for the numbering. I'm doing 1 through 15 on the top row and 16 through 31 on the bottom, making a 2-row habit grid. I've used this layout quite a few times and love how uniform it looks, and it's actually quite simple to create. I'm going to speed this up a bit here now. I decided for this month to use one color all the way down throughout the entire page. The original inspiration had it blocked into 3 sections. This page is the most time-intensive part of the monthly spread. Sometimes I don't include the numbers, just leaving blank spaces, but I find I get more confused, especially in the middle part of the month, without them. So I'm going to take my time and write them all in today. I try to do 3 full habits, 1 through 31, and then rest a minute. But this was a lot on my hand, especially at this angle. If you're ever wondering what markers I'm using, I literally just use what I have. Nothing fancy. I do buy a lot of art supplies in general, but usually it's more like stickers. But I would take some good suggestions on good, cheaper marker sets. I was so excited to get to the end of this numbering and get to move on to washi tape. In the end, it only took 12 minutes, so I'm just being dramatic. The finalizing touches really bring it all together for me. Some pumpkin washi tape and pretty title. I can't do anything crazy like cursive, but I think it looks nice enough. I try to go for usability and it makes me happy over it needs to look perfect. I'm adding my habits quick so you all can see what it looks like all filled out. Full picture, if you will. I saw these cute AF ghost tracker inspiration pics and knew I had to do one of these this month. They are literally too cute not to. This is something that I know will make me excited to fill this out every single day, which will help me stay motivated. I made my own template from some thicker construction paper, drew my ghost model, and cut the inside out. Now, fitting 31 ghosts on the page will be easier, because I always seem to draw things way too big and end up having to redo it many times. This template idea made it so much easier. So let's get into this month's mood tracker. There's just something about tracing your sketch in black ink that just chef's kiss. These ghosts are turning out great. I'm not quite sure yet if I'll give them faces or arms or any other features, but they're pretty cute. I ended up without the footage of me finishing this page, I guess. So I will put a picture of the finished page and just tell you what I did. I used the same black marker I used on the ghost to title the page and used a bright orange highlighter through the middle of the word, one stroke. And I ended up with limited room for my key, so I'm writing the mood underneath the box. The next but not last tracker will be the energy tracker. So I'm doing an easy grid broken into 5 sections that will be from good to bad. This layout has been a fun one. It basically makes a bar chart and it's super simple to fill out day to day. I labeled this page with its title the same way I labeled the Ghost Habit Tracker page if the explanation and picture didn't quite make sense. And this time, just a quick 1 through 31 down the page, a singular time. Hooray! I'm doing this in orange gel pen, so here's my inspirational picture. I saw this idea for a Tetris game online and loved it. I love making little games for myself to help get me excited to fill out the day. It was such a good idea, I actually ended up adding it to September mid-month because it was so exciting. I wanted to try it. I'm going to be writing my own tasks for this month and tweaking from the original creator. Things such as checking email and checking professional text messages, because those are some things that I hate doing. For the first month I did this, I added a Tetris piece a day, like 1 per day. But for October, I'm deciding if I should add a Tetris piece every time I complete a task. So in one day I could earn more than 1 piece and also try to win more points. I kind of like the multiple a day, but what do you guys think? I'm starting with an empty Tetris box and making my pieces key on the side. This does require 8 different colors to do the original idea. Here's a peek of it all filled out with colors. This is such a fun idea. My next page is my 1 line of happiness journal prompt. I didn't know what to do for this page, so a 1-line prompt was my idea. Gratitude would have worked, but I liked the idea of writing down one thing every day that makes me happy. It sounds so nice, especially to look back at, which I love doing. After numbering in brown, I'm using a strip of decorative leaf and pumpkin paper and some fall washi tape to decorate this page. I wanted to show you guys my leftover washi tape graveyard, we're calling it, for October. I saw this from another creator when I was just getting into bullet journaling, and it's one of my favorite things to do. The monthly spread doesn't feel complete until I've gotten all of my bits into the washi tape graveyard. Continuing my monthly spread, we have the monthly log. Now, I hear that other creators don't like a monthly log because they tend not to use it. But personally, I love it. I like to write down fun things I did, where I went, and who I did it with. And then I can look back at all these memories and see what I did in that month. Especially for the holidays. I'll also write down firsts for the year, like first butterfly or first snow. I like to compare those things from year to year and see how they change. Now, finished with the monthly spread, I wanted to share how I quickly set up my weekly pages. I like to have a mini calendar and a dashboard for important things. Otherwise, just a lot of open space for my daily tasks and to-dos. I was having a bit of trouble here deciding if I wanted to use a ruler or just freehand it. I ended up just kind of freehanding it though. I usually make between 2 to 4 of these kind of pages, all kind of similar to each other but slightly different. Remember, monotony. I decided this month to add some of the washi tape I used on the monthly spread throughout the weeklies. They ended up so cute and very orange. Some of the to-do list will be for things like cleaning, shopping, and work, so I just like to leave a lot of open room. I also like this design because I don't feel guilty for missing a day or two, and it's not a waste of pages because I didn't set them up for that way. I can just move on to the day that I need. But I do try to get myself to use it at least twice a day and update my to-dos. The motivation's not always there, but I try every day, and some days I succeed. Anyways, thank you all who sat with me and watched my video. Whether you're just tuning in for some content or gathering inspiration, I hope you had a great time. This was a first for me, and it ended up being so much more work than I thought it was going to be, but so very rewarding. I applaud anybody who does this full-time, part-time, anything. It is a lot of work. Well, that's all from me for now. Hope to see you in the next video. Like, share, and comment. I would love to chat in the comment section. Bye!